What's up, guys? We back with another video. Y'all know my Brother's Day reaction video, so we about to do one. So let's start.
It was brought to you by NordVPN. Do you spend a lot of time on the internet? Of course you do. However, is your data safe? With NordVPN, your personal data is never logged. A VPN is a virtual private
Alright, guys, it's already getting creepy for some reason, but let's keep watching.
network. NordVPN offers the best award-winning in-class security feature, fast remote servers located in 59 different countries. Enjoy all your favorite content without any worry on any of your compatible devices. You can connect up to 6 simultaneous connections at once. Treat yourself to unlimited bandwidth for fast and secure connections, along with 24/7 live customer support at your convenience.
Guys, I think it's getting creepy because I think the girl's buying on somebody, so let's keep watching.
Shopping for Black Friday? Take advantage of NordVPN's Black Friday deal. Every purchase of a 2-year plan will get you 4 additional months free. Go to nordvpn.com/horrorshortsparty. Use our coupon HorrorShortsParty at checkout with a no-nonsense 30-day money-back guarantee.
Every year before Christmas, a terrifying feeling grabs my heart and mind. It's been 10 years, but I still can't erase the haunting memory of one Christmas day. My son was 5 years old when this incident happened. After the separation from my husband, Damien was my everything. He was always nice to people and good with kids at school. Whenever I went to pick him up from school, I always saw him surrounded by friends. I was happy to see him fitting in nicely with groups. The week before Christmas, Damien's school staged a children's play. After the show ended, I was driving home with him. I was praising him for his excellent performance in the play when he just told me, "I made a new friend today, Mom." I smiled back and said, "You've been such a good boy this year, and I'm sure Santa will bring you lots of gifts for Christmas." His face lit up when I told him that.
That actually sounds creepy with the lady said that, but let's keep watching.
Got back home and had dinner. I tucked Damien into bed and he went to sleep. The next morning, when I woke up and went to the kitchen to make breakfast, I noticed the cookie jar was broken. Shattered glass and cookies were lying all over the kitchen floor. I got really pissed off and called Damien into the room. Damien was brushing his teeth and came to the kitchen about 10 minutes later. He looked up at me and said, "What is it, Mom?" I said in an angry voice, "Did you break the cookie jar last night?" He shook his head and said, "No, it wasn't me." I said, "Really? Then who was it?" Damien looked at me and said, "It was Mr. Nobody." As I was in no mood for such jokes, I got even more angry and said, "Don't you try to fool me, Damien." Damien started to sob and said, "I am telling the truth, Mom. I told you I made a friend yesterday. He said his name was Mr. Nobody. He was the one who broke the cookie jar last night." Then he started to cry.
That's sad.
I picked him up into a big hug and decided to drop.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think at the end it's gonna be a scary monster coming out. So let's see what's gonna happen.
Let's see how long is this video.
I figured, like
It's
every other
34
child,
minutes, y'all.
Nap, and what the fuck is going on here? Put your tongue away.
I'll check it up there. These rest of these creepy ones is really scary.
Y'all gotta like and subscribe for that. Okay, guys, y'all gotta like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment your friends.
Two had an
Hey, y'all,
imaginary
what am I
friend,
merching?
and due to the fear of being grounded, he was just making up a story. Christmas was now 2 days away. My ex-husband called and said that he'd like to join us for Christmas dinner. I knew how much Damien missed his father, so, for his sake, I decided to put aside our marital issues for one night. That evening, I was doing house chores when I heard Damien's footsteps in my room. "Damien, how many times have I told you not to play in my room?" I screamed out loudly. I could see a shadow moving on the wall opposite my bedroom door. I rushed to the corridor to scold Damien. I was about to peek inside when I heard Damien's voice from behind me. "Mom, I'm hungry." I was shocked and absolutely terrified at the same time. I slowly walked towards him and said, "Did you go into my room?" But Damien said, "No, I was in my room." and did something really creepy. He looked over my shoulder as if someone was standing behind me. I immediately turned around, but didn't see anyone there. Later on, I checked my room and the entire house, but all the doors and windows were already locked. Also, there was no sign of any forced entry. I got really worried this time and noticed weird things happening around the house. I started decorating the house as Christmas was knocking on the door. But sometimes I noticed things being misplaced from their positions. Like if I kept a lamp beside the porch in the living room and left for a few minutes, I always ended up finding it in the corner of the wall. Damien was too small to lift such a heavy lamp, and there was no one else in the house. One night, I went to the kitchen to get a glass of water and thought to check on Damien on my way back. As I got close to his door, I heard his voice talking. He was speaking to someone. He talked in a very low voice, but I could still hear him. Damien was saying, "You can't walk around the house at night like this. If Mom sees you, she won't let you stay with us." I immediately entered his room, thinking someone broke into our house, but there was no one inside. Damien was sitting on his bed nervously. I asked him, "Who were you talking to?" He looked towards his closet and then looked back at me. I said in a tensed voice, "Damien, you are scaring me now. Is there anyone in your room?"
So guys, this video is getting creepy because his mom is not believing him no more.
Right. I'm actually scared too, so let's keep watching. Me too. I hope it doesn't.
He still didn't say anything and just kept staring at me. I went to the closet and opened the door with my trembling hand. There was no one inside. I heaved a sigh of relief and scolded Damien for staying awake so late. I tucked him into bed and went to bed myself. I couldn't sleep that night. Damien's weird behavior had me worried. The next day was the day before Christmas, so I decided to take Damien to the mall to let him buy things for decorating the Christmas tree. We had a fun time, and I bought him some ice cream. On our way back, I asked Damien, "How's your friend, Damien?" He said, "Which friend, Mom?" I said in a hesitated manner, "Your new friend, Mr. Nobody." Damien's face turned sad, and he said, "I don't think we're friends anymore, Mom." I asked, "Why is that?" He replied, "He doesn't listen to me. Also, I feel scared of him." I was really quite shocked to hear him talk about his imaginary friend.
So guys, like, how is you scared of your own friend? If y'all friends, y'all shouldn't be scared of each other.
No, it's creepy, dude.
It's creepy.
After getting back home, I told Damien, "What does Mr. Nobody look like, Damien?" He went to his room and brought me a drawing he had made. When I looked at the first page, I saw a very creepy figure. Damien drew himself on the bed, and there was a thin, triangle-faced man standing beside him. The man had a huge smile on his face, like someone had cut his mouth from one ear to the other.
Guys,
His
I know
eyes
what that
were
looks like,
huge,
right?
and
Oh, that actually look like Freddy Krueger.
No, it looks like Jeff the Killer.
his eyeballs were blood red.
Cut on his
The
face,
picture disturbed me to the
shaped like a
core.
smile.
I turned to Damien and said, "How did you meet this guy?" He said Mr. Nobody came to watch him play and asked to come to our house with him. I felt goosebumps on my skin. I said in a low voice, "Do you mean he lives in our house now?" Damien once again looked behind me, and I was about to turn around when the doorbell rang. The doorbell scared the shit out of me, but I somehow managed not to let my fears show.
You saw it. Look how it did.
As I opened the door, I saw Paul standing in the doorway. Paul is my ex-husband. We exchanged smiles and I let him in the house. Damie was so excited to see him just before Christmas, and they both started to decorate the Christmas tree. I couldn't shake the terrible feeling about Damien's imaginary friend, Mr. Nobody. After dinner, as Damien was put to sleep, I told Paul about all of this. He laughed and told me that I shouldn't be taking a kid's imagination so seriously.
Guys,
And that's the main thing I hated about
guys,
Paul.
don't forget
He never took
to
me.
hit the thumbs up,
And
the
like
subscribe
video.
button, and don't forget.
We can't hear nothing. And comment on my Bible. Y'all were good marches.
Be serious, unless we got into trouble. The same thing happened in this case as well. On Christmas morning, we were all feeling excited. I went to Damien's room and woke him and Paul up, as Paul was sleeping in his room. We all came to the living room and witnessed a shocking scene. The Christmas tree was in complete ruins. It seemed like someone scratched it with something sharp and pointy. The toys and ornaments we hung on the tree were all
Yeah, I think it was that creepy monster that was talking about. So let's keep watching and see what's about to happen.
scattered all over the floor. Paul and I both knew it wasn't Damien. But Damien started to cry and said, "Trust me, Mom, it's Mr. Nobody. He broke the Christmas tree."
Why
I
did
didn't
you
know
crying
what
if
was
you,
going
if
on.
your friend
Neither
is?
did Paul.
You should control your
We
friend.
calmed down our son and started to rearrange the decorations once again. Around 6 o'clock that evening, we had everything back the way it was before. I cooked a delicious dinner, and Damien got excited opening his Christmas presents, which were filled with toys and candies. And
That's-
Damien started smiling.
That's actually good because I didn't get toys and candy.
You only got clothes for real.
I want to see if they got the say those shoes are right.
Yeah.
Size right.